Oh, hello. It's been a while since I've seen you guys. Oh, the setup is still the same, I see. Huh. Yeah, I'm not dead. If anyone has been wondering where I've been, school, trying to survive as a broke college student, and yeah, but I'm here. I'm here, and today I am joined by my fellow cool kid people, the Geek Informant and the Right Dude.
As you
And
could see, I am not dead.
yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't do that.
I should.
Dead. Bring out your. I'm not dead.
Why did I do that? Damn it!
But two very different references, but I still appreciate it, right?
For people, I was trying. Yeah, I was thinking, why don't I just pull up Ferris Bueller and be like, "Oh, hello." What do you?
No, Ferris Bueller is a good one, but I was just like, I know I'm big of a fan of Black Panther, you are, so like, I feel like that was the obvious one. But hey, Ferris Bueller's great too. Three very different references of hey, I am not dead.
But for those who do not know my name or forgotten who I am, my name is the world's biggest geek. I know, I haven't been here in the last 5 months, but today is a special occasion because today is November 19th. Now, November 19th is probably not a significant day for many. I'm sure if it isn't your birthday, which happy birthday to anyone who's watching. But the reason why I have decided to stream today is because today marks 1 week from November 26th. What's happening on November 26th? It's the final season of Stranger Things Season 5. Or I'm sorry, Part 1 of the final season of Stranger Things Season 5. Yeah, this part format is stupid as fuck. But anyways, Stranger Things has been a show that has lasted for basically the last 10 years. When it first came out, I was 12 years old. As you can see, I am no longer 12 years old. I am the same age. I want everyone to realize I am the same age as Gaten Matarazzo, Finn Wolfhard. Millie Bobby Brown is a year younger than me. Noah Schnapp is a year younger than me. And I think I'm also the same age as Sadie Sink as well. The only one that's not older that I'm not the same age of is Caleb McLaughlin because he's 24 years old. Even then, I basically am around the same age as all of these kids. This show has been around for the last 10 years. And we've only gotten 5 seasons. That is something that we will get to later. But we have but on top of that, we today are going to be talking about the entire show of Stranger Things, the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to be going season by season, and then the last we'll talk about our predictions for season 5, what we expect, what we want to see, what we hope not to see. We will get to that later. But if anyone else has like anything they want to say in this opening before we get to the nitty gritty.
Not really, no.
Okay. Well, I guess enough talk. Let's talk about Stranger Things Season 1. So, Stranger Things Season 1. I remember where I was when this show came out back in 2016. It was basically seen as this little show about these kids meeting this strange girl who can move things with her mind. And we also have monsters and Dungeons and Dragons and mystery and all this other stuff. And I would say this was a series. This season 1. And considering that fun fact, I was actually watching season 1 a couple episodes yesterday. And the first episode of season 1 really does a good job of introducing what you're about to see and what is basically the tone of the show. I would say that season 1, a lot of people, including myself, and I'm sure everyone else in here probably agrees that season 1 is probably the strongest of the show, that it has like the most consistent tone. It actually is the scariest of the four current seasons. It takes itself seriously while also doing right by the characters, and it has a lot of great moments. I don't think there was really a bad moment in the show unless I'm blanking, but what did you guys think of? Like, what are you guys' thoughts about season 1 as a whole?
So for me, season 1, I think is an overall really great season. It's arguably the best. It's probably not my favorite, but it is arguably the best out of all of them. It just like everything just kind of comes together. The mystery of it all, the nailing of like the nailing of like the 80s vibe. This is what J.J. Abrams tried to do but failed miserably with many of his movies. It again, it has like the whole ET vibe. It has the whole like it's just like that modern, like it was at the height of 80s mania where everyone was like looking back on the 80s about how great it was, blah blah blah, all that stuff. So it was like right place, right time, but at the same time, it was genuinely a good show. It was genuinely like the kids all had great chemistry with one another. The mystery, and whenever it does get brought up, like the practicals and the effects, and all the characters felt memorable and well executed. And overall, it was just a near perfect season of television. And I think it did just so much, and it's a shame that the show never really got to those heights ever since. So, there is that, but we're not here to talk about that for right now. We're here to just talk about season 1, and I do think season 1 is, from what I remember, maybe if I rewatch it, I'm like, oh wow, this actually sucks. But like from what I remember, again, I watched this fucking 9 years ago, so shit could have changed, and whatever. But from what I remember, it was a really great season 1.
Yeah. For me, I would probably say, even though I haven't watched a lot of these seasons in so long, I always remember that season 1 I always considered to be like the best or something. I do love how like everyone has great chemistry, as you said. I do like the different tone, the dark bleak. Because honestly, when I first heard about Stranger Things, honestly, I did not know what to think. I wasn't sure what like this is. I would be like, is this just going to be weird? I don't know. But I started watching because I think my brother actually recommended it. My younger brother Ben is the one that recommended it to me, and I started watching it, and I was like, I was really hooked after the first season. It's a shame that a lot of the other seasons didn't live up to this one. So I do like, I do agree with John. This was actually at the time where like the mid 2010s, where people were pretty much thinking so nostalgic about the 80s, even though pretty much most people here weren't even alive when the 80s was going on. I mean, hell, I was like, I wasn't even a year old when the 80s was still happening. So I can't even say I have any memory about it. But it's like things like whether it's Stranger Things or maybe It, because It was also pretty much focusing all like kids in the 80s, and also I'm going to point this out. If I had a nickel for every time a project that Finn Wolfhard was a part of that involved being a kid in the 80s in the mid 2010s, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's where that happened twice.
I will say, like, whoever Finn Wolfhard's like agent was during that time, he did an amazing job of being able to book him some good roles, because it's kind of funny how he's in he's in a show that revolves around a bunch of kids who are seen as nerds and are fighting up against mythical, extraterrestrial creatures.
Yeah.
And he's in a movie series where he is a nerd with a bunch of other nerds who are fighting against an existential creature who's a clown.
Yeah, exactly.
And fun fact, he actually booked It first.
Really?
Because what happened was he booked It, and then and he I might be getting, it might be vice versa, but I think from what I remember is that he booked It, and then he couldn't do Stranger Things because of It, and then It got delayed because there was the whole stuff with Cary Fukunaga and like Andy Muschietti taking over for him and all that. So that got delayed, and then he could do Stranger Things and then would go on to do It, I think that's how it is, or it's vice versa, where he booked Stranger Things, couldn't do it, then Stranger Things got delayed, and then he could do it. So I forget which one it was, but I remember one thing he booked. I'm pretty sure he booked it first, but because that came out later, so a lot of people were like, "Oh my god!" But that I think he booked it first. I think that's what it was. But then it got delayed, so he was able to do both.
Hey.
So
yeah,
I mean, because how I got introduced to Finn Wolfhard was because of it. Because I didn't, which I'll get to season 2 as to how I found out about Wolfhard later. But when I saw I didn't know, oh, this is the dude from Stranger Things. No, I watched it first, and I thought, and hey, he was the best part of that movie. He was the funniest part of that film.
Yes.
Like, but
Pete Richie.
Yeah, like, but I honestly like what I love the best about season 1 is definitely the characters, because like this is where we're meeting all these characters for the first time, and what the show and the Duffer Brothers do the best is it's very clearly paying homage to Stephen King, paying homage to Steven Spielberg, all these legendary directors who have made 80s films and do all these cliches. And the show, and especially season 1, it does a good job of subverting expectations and making us like assume that this is how these characters are going to be, but then flipping the trope on its head and making them actually more complex as characters. Like, you got Hopper, the police chief, who doesn't, the stereotypical police chief who doesn't believe all this, paranormal activities going on. But then we found out his past. We find out that he actually is a good cop who actually means well, but is, but also went through some trauma. Steve, the stereotypical jock who's also a bully, but then we find out that he's actually a really good guy.
All because Joe Keery was too fucking nice.
Yeah, like Joe, like, which again, we will get
Steve Harrington was supposed to be like a fucking grade A asshole, but Joe Keery was too likable. So they're like, fuck, we got to redeem him because we like him too much. So because of that, he stuck with the show. And then I'll get into something else with how his character the original version of his character eventually made it into the show. But that is what happened, which I love. It's just great. Same thing happened to Tom Hanks twice in his career as well. So
I mean, I wouldn't even say that Steve was a dick, because I think everything he did, besides besides one moment in the show, or I guess you could say 2, that happened simultaneously at the same time, where yes, that was not okay, but anything that he did in the show or in season 1 wasn't really a bully. He had every right to treat Jonathan like shit, which we will get to. I guess we can talk about the moments, I guess, in season 1. But what would you guys say is your favorite moment of season 1?
Oh wow,
I have no fucking clue.
I probably would have to say maybe the climax that happened like in the laboratory, like with the Demigorgons getting loose and things like that, that kind of thing. I probably would say like that,
Yeah, something. I don't. God, it's been so long. I don't know, when the van flips over with 11 using her powers. That's pretty awesome. Like that was like the big thing. I was like, oh shit.
I mean, that's that's clearly inspired by ET.
What would you guys when they showed? Yeah. What are you guys' thoughts on when they actually did show like the underside, the other dimension, like what were you expect? Like what kind, like when they kept hyping up this new dimension, it's all like, was it living up to your expectations or something? Like when they showed the other side?
Well, when I finally, so you know what? I guess I kind of can't really talk about this without, but I kind of already knew the Upside Down existed, because funny fact, season one is not how I got introduced to this show. It was actually season 2. Because back in 2017, everyone was like talking about the show, so my dumbass watched season 2 without having any prior context, no knowledge of what happened before. I just went into season 2 blind, and I'm like, oh shit, this is pretty cool. And then I watched season 1 and I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, like I said, my brother is the one that told me about the show, and then I think not too long after that, I remember Bill Master Adam did a review of season 1 of the show, for his what is it, Halloween binge, whatever. I can't remember what it's called.
31 movies of Halloween or something, I think.
13 movies of Halloween or something. I don't know. I don't remember. So, even though Stranger Things is not a movie, but
I would say my favorite moment in season 1 is probably where like 11 saves Mike from jumping off the cliff. Because that was
really good.
That was where like it was kind of at like a low point where everyone was like mad at each other, and then like Mike was able to, Mike, the bullies got a hold of Dustin, and Mike was willing to jump off a cliff to save his friends. Because I'm sure people have forgotten that Mike is not only the leader, but he's also very much cares about his friends. I know Mike, which we will get to later, because I have a lot of things I want to say about Mike as a character. And some other characters, but mostly Mike. But we will get to that later. But I would say the standout of season 1 to me was probably Mike, because I think this is where Mike's character as a whole was like the most flushed out. And he was, I don't know about you guys, but I thought Finn Wolfhard was the main character of season 1. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
They were trying. It seemed like they were hyping up like he was the main character, It seemed like they were hyping it up, but when he's not, so
yeah, like sometimes hey, I don't mind if there is a character in the first like movie or show or season of a show where it's like, oh, this guy's the main character, but no, wait, he's not the main character. It's this other character who's really the main lead. I don't mind. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It worked for this. It worked for this show. It didn't work for Star Wars.
A lot of things don't work for Star Wars, to be fair.
No.
Yeah. But what about you guys? What would you say is like your standout like character of like season 1 if you had to pick
11?
I would say either 11, but I also really like Dustin. I thought he was.
Yeah, Dustin was pretty funny. Dustin was pretty funny. Fun fact. I think my brother and we actually did meet him at a con. The actor at a con one time. I think it was like right at the time the Stranger Things became was at the peak of its popularity.
Oh, so it must have been around like season 3 or something.
I'm pretty sure I saw him on Broadway before he became known as Dustin, because he was in Les Miserables, and I saw that on Broadway like a couple years before Stranger Things, because Gaten Matarazzo was a theater actor before he got into like movies and TV and stuff like that.
Fun fact, same for Caleb McLaughlin. He also started off on Broadway with The Lion King. He was Simba, or Kid Simba. Oh, we have two Broadway, theater kids.
Sadie Sink is going back to I think she's a theater because she's going back. Not back to Broadway. She's going to the West End with Noah Jupe. She's going to be Juliet in Romeo and Juliet.
Oh.
Yeah. Realistically, honestly, like I think season 1 is probably like the season where we don't really have like too much to say, because there's like really nothing wrong with this season. Like, I don't think there's anything about the season that I really hate or dislike, because it was really just that perfect. Like when it comes to TV shows, and it's unfortunate when it comes to good TV shows where the first season is really like where you catch lightning in a bottle, because it takes a lot. Like, for example, we talk about Cobra Kai a lot on this channel, and I think most of us had season 1, if not as the best season, at least at number 2. Season 1 of Cobra Kai was like really, really good and very, very grounded compared to everything else. And it's the same thing here. Like, it's the most grounded. It's the most like, it's it actually it's scary. It's scary. I know, like that's like an art that the show kind of lost during, you know, when it kept going, but it was scary. It was like, you know, the mystery was very intriguing, and the show was good at making you want to see more. And originally, it was supposed to be a one-off season. Like season 1 was supposed to be it. If they were ever going to do more seasons, I think it was said that it was supposed to be an anthology series.
It was originally, yeah, it was supposed to be an anthology, but then early on, a lot of people think like, oh no, it was a last minute change. No, it was, they were gonna, if they're like, if it gets renewed, we're gonna continue with the same kids, because back when it was called Montauk, when it was gonna take place in Montauk, New York, but then they had to reduce things because of, you know, government. But when they were doing that, they realized that during the course of like writing it, they're like, if we get the right kids for this, the chemistry is going to be off the charts, and people are going to be unable to not like, we can't present these kids that people are going to love. They're going to love the chemistry and not have them ever again. So we're going to set it up so that we're going to have them for future seasons, because like it was the earliest of early, like it was going to be an anthology, but then during writing for season 1, I think before it became Stranger Things, that they changed it so that it was going to be an ongoing show with the same cast.
So let me ask you guys this before we move on to season 2. If they ended it with season 1, would this be one of the greatest shows, like some one season show, like, or you know, shows
like the best like mini series of all time? Yeah, sure, probably it would be.
Yeah, I would say
it's like a
Simpsons
Simpsons situation where it's like, yeah, seasons 1 through 10 are like greatness, and then everything after is garbage.
Yeah.
So you know, it's
pretty, yeah,
it's pretty much that. And so obviously,
I mean,
that later.
Yeah, I would say like this probably could, if this just ended, like there was no season 2 and onward, I probably could see this being like as a great miniseries. You know, I could really see it,
especially with the ending, because like the ending, like it doesn't necessarily leave you wondering, oh, are we going to, I mean, it leaves some questions to be answered, but though, like, just like we said, or just like I said earlier about it paying homage to, you know, 80s movies, it also pays homage to the Twilight Zone, where, you know, it ends
exactly.
like sometimes it's gonna end in like a oh no, like because for those who probably don't remember, season 1 ends with Will gets rescued, 11 sacrifices herself to defeat the Demogorgon, and the ending shows that Hopper left Eggos in a box in the middle of the woods during Christmas, and Will, he's alone by himself, and he coughs up a tentacle, and for a split second we see him being able to, split second he's back in the upside down and then back into the real world. So it leaves you with like, oh, is Will truly safe? Is 11 still alive? You know, it leaves some things open-ended. It honestly, if they ended it off like that and they went on to just do if they didn't want to make another season, if they wanted to make another season and they just decided to do an anthology, like season after season, it's in different decades and eras and whatnot, that would have been a really good way to end it off. It's like, oh shit, like, yeah, they won, but this boy might not be okay. 11 might be alive. So yeah, I mean, honestly, if they ended it off at season 1, I think, yeah, it would have been one of the greatest miniseries of all time.
One more thing before we move on. Before this show even came out, did anybody even know what a Gorgon was? I don't know how many Dungeons & Dragons fans we have. I mean,
D&D people knew, but
no, just Gorgon, because
no,
I don't play Dungeons. I never play Dungeons. I don't play Dungeons & Dragons.
I played it a couple times. I was not, but it was after Stranger Things, so I didn't know.
Yeah, same thing. My little brother plays Dungeons & Dragons now. Like, he's been playing for like the last 2-3 years. But
Yeah,
I don't.
I wasn't really much of a Dungeons and Dragons person. I know some of my friends tried to get me into playing Magic the Gathering, but I couldn't understand that. I couldn't understand that at all. I know that's off topic, but
So I guess if we don't have anything else to say about season 1 anymore, we will move on because obviously, even though it was supposed to end at season 1, the buzz, the popularity, it got way too much, and Netflix saw that holy shit, this show just made us money. And when the movie or a show makes a company a lot of money, they decide wait, what?
No, I was making a joke. You like where you said like, oh, it's supposed to end here and all, but but it was at the height of its popularity, and the company wanted to keep going, and I was just like, SpongeBob.
Yeah, So when a property makes a company a lot of money, they decide to continue it and go bigger and go better. So without further ado, we shall move on to season 2. So, season 2. This is I wouldn't say the most divisive season when it comes to the fandom, but it is a season that a lot of people have mixed feelings on. And not necessarily because it's bad, but it's because it's kind of like not on the same par as season 1. And I have some opinions about it because even though is season 2 better or even on the same level of season 1? No. But is it a bad season? Is it a bad season? No. But do I think it's underrated? Yes. I think it's a very underrated season. I like to think of this season as a part 2 to season 1, where it's like it is a new season, but it still picks up it still continues the same story from season 1. It takes place 6 months later. Get the jokes out of the way, people. It takes place 6 months after season 1, and we see that Will is still seeing the upside down. He still is seeing things. He's still he's not getting any better. He's getting tested at Hawkins' lab constantly. And on top of that, we see that Mike is still searching for 11. And spoiler alert, 11 is alive, and she's living with Hopper. So Hopper has gained a new kid to take care of as his surrogate daughter. And for those who didn't know, like I said, mentioned briefly in season 1, we with Hopper's past. Hopper, before season 1 takes place, he had a daughter named Sarah, and he had a lovely wife, but his daughter died of cancer. And that basically sent his whole life into a downward spiral. He ended up getting divorced with his wife. He ended up becoming an alcoholic, and he was pretty depressed. And he ends up finding 11, and he finds a new purpose in life, being able to have a second chance at having a daughter. And then in season 2, we get introduced to new characters like Max, Billy. Oh, hello. Yum French fries. I love French fries. We get introduced to new characters like Max, and we get introduced to Billy, Bob, and we get a lot more of a storyline to do in season 2, and we have a lot more. We get new character dynamics, new pairings, a lot more drama, and as far as season 2, I know John, John, I know you said talked about season 2 before, so what are your thoughts on season 2?
I preferred season 2 to season 1. Season 1's probably the better season, but I felt like I like how things continued. This was the only time where the show felt like a continued show. It felt like it didn't feel like here's the next thing, here's the next thing, here's the next thing. It felt like a proper continuance of events, like major things that came about from season 1 were continued in season 2, and I really, really appreciated that. And I just found the story to be more interesting, the world building, how it's affected our characters. Sean Astin, always a win. Justice for Bob. But I think that there was that. I think there was also I like how the characters grew, and I really liked how they were like addressing not just what happened in season one from season one, but addressing stuff the people they were prior to season one, as you were saying with Hopper. So I just thought that was very. I thought that was very well done, and yeah, it does have like the fucking like backdoor pilot that never went anywhere episode.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
I know a lot of people didn't like that. I get it. It was like a hard like left. And I get why people didn't like it, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was like interesting. I'm like, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing people like this. But I get why that people were upset about it. But it did bother me. And I liked all the new characters. I liked all the stuff. So yeah, I think overall it worked as a proper continuance of season one, and it never really got this good ever again. Like season two might not be good as season one, but it was never this good again, which is unfortunate. But
well, for me, I would say, well, season two, I think, is a bit of a step down from season one. I will say that I still enjoy myself watching that season. I do like some of the interesting ideas they have. They were more able to expand on some things. I do like how they tried to make 11. Like, I do like the development with 11 and trying to adapt with her being like a normal girl and all kind of thing, because she was like in season one, she was like stuck in that laboratory pretty much all of her life. So it was really interesting. I do like the end and the big fight in the shopping mall. I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I do like that. And this was the one that introduced Max, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Max was a really cool character, and even the piece of shit brother that she had, who, by the way, fun fact, was played by Jason in the 2017 Power Rangers movie.
Yeah. Rest in peace to that franchise. Right, dude. Hello.
I think he froze.
Did he freeze? I froze. Hold on, let me capture this before it unfreezes. We got to do it every single time. Okay, while we get that situation checked out. Oh. Hello. Right.
He said, "Give me a minute."
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, while he's okay. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to the new characters, yeah, love Bob. Bob was a great character. Sucks that he went out the way that he did, but hey, the old I'm getting chased by thing, and then I escape, and then let me stop for a second to smile at the love of my life instead of getting out of harm's way, and then he dies. But hey, he was able to. Bob Newby, superhero, man. Damn, bro. That rest in peace to Bob. I think out of all the characters' death in like the show, I think Bob's one is the saddest to me. Because he was a good guy. He was a good guy. Like he wasn't a bad boyfriend to Joyce. Like he was great to Joyce. He tried to be a great, father figure for Will. Like he did everything right, man. He did everything right. But for Max, I mean, honestly, Max as a character in season 2 really isn't the most flushed out character, but I'm more forgiving of that because of what they do with her in season 4. So her not being that much of a character is okay because it gets better from here. Billy's character, I mean, he was pretty much, he's the fill-in for Steve, because Steve is no longer the bully character. So Billy is now
essentially what I was gonna say. Was Billy was essentially what the original plan for Steve was, and they essentially just made him the jock asshole and redid those ideas for that character.
Yeah, who also is in the MILFs.
I mean, MILFs?
I can't blame him.
Like, come on now.
Yeah, I can't blame him. If I was him, I would have pulled that. Oh, I didn't know so-and-so had a sister too. I would have pulled that line up straight.
I would have pulled that shit too. Like, I don't have Riz, but I might, shoot my shot. But because as we all know, MILFs and GILFs are better than women your own age. I'm just gonna say that right now.
But Karen, we are looking at you a little sideways though. Not because you were about to have an affair. That is bad. Because of the fact that this is a high schooler. He's a high schooler. So
he's 18. Karen. It's legal. It's fine.
Dude, come on, man.
It's creepy. It's gross, but at least the legality.
We don't even know if he was 18 though, because school starts in season, because school started around Halloween time, and that's usually
didn't they say that he got held back or something, or that
I don't know.
I mean, it's still gross. I'm not giving her it's okay to do it. I'm again cheater and also possible. Can't mention that word or else we'll get demonetized. But you know, I'm just gonna say it's still gross. But I'm pretty sure they did say he was 18, which is slightly better.
I mean, okay. I mean, it's. I guess you could say from a legal standpoint, but it's still wrong.
It's still gross. It's still wrong. And Karen kind of sucks. Not the only thing she's sucking, apparently, but it's
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
My connection can go fuck itself.
Yeah. Yeah. We're just talking about Billy, and we're talking about Billy as a character, and just
oh yeah.
So he was 17 in season 2. Karen, you're a pedophile. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah. I mean, Digger Montgomery may not be a teenager, but his character was.
Yeah.
Yep. So Karen's a. Sorry, I said the word.
But other characters, I would say. Now with season 2, like I said, we get new pairings, new dynamics. We have a love triangle subplot with Mike, Dustin, and Max, and the black guy wins. Yes, the black guy won. We got and we also have some rivals. I mean, Mike isn't really the most receptive to Max because obviously he misses Elle. We also have the rivalry between Billy and Steve. And as far as new pairings, we have the best dynamic in the show. If I'm going to be honest, whoever thought of this was a genius. But this is the introduction to Steve and Dustin, the best dynamic in the show. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to Dustin and Steve, like I said, whoever came up with this pairing is like a genius because their chemistry is beyond amazing. It's just perfection. Because with Dustin as a character, he was the sweet, lovable dork of the group. And in season 2, he obviously is, he's getting older. And I think out of everyone, I don't know if Steve has a dad. Or not, sorry. I don't know if Lucas has a dad. If he does, then maybe he does. But Dustin's the only one out of the core group who doesn't have a dad in his life. Even Will has a dad. He's an asshole, but he still has a dad who's currently alive. Like Dustin doesn't have a dad in the picture. So to have Steve to become a male figure in his life was really smart on the writer's behalf. Because we get to see him have like an older brother figure. Oh, he's also an only child, so he doesn't have a dad in his life, and he also is an only child. So to have Steve come in and fill that role of being the parental figure and also older cool big brother as well. That was a really great dynamic. We got to see Steve give Dustin advice, help him out with his with his confidence, and they're just fun together. Like they have like great funny like moments and everything. Yeah, I for one. And as far as let's address the elephant in the room, the dog. Sorry, that's a little harsh. The worst episode of the series, yeah, The Lost Sister. That episode was boring. Every time I rewatch season 2, I skip that episode because it basically just you could skip that episode and it changes nothing. The only thing that makes you wonder is why does 11 look like she's in like a punk rock band in the final episode? Like that's it. That's literally it. And I get it. They were trying to do a spinoff series, but they just did not do a good job. That was not a good selling point. It wasn't a good selling point to try and introduce a new character and try to do a backdoor pilot and everything. Usually when it comes to having a popular show at that, and have an episode where it insinuates that there could potentially be a possibility of a spinoff, you have to do it very carefully. I mean, one of the greatest comedies of all time, The Office, they couldn't even do that right because they tried to do it. They had a whole episode dedicated to Dwight and his farm, and that was supposed to be a backdoor pilot to his own show, and it sucked. So yeah, I mean that wasn't really the greatest episode, but as far as that, I think season 2 is very underrated. I mean, we got to get a lot of payoffs. Yeah. Mike and 11 finally got to go to the snowball that was set up in season 1. Yeah. For anyone who gives a shit about Jonathan gets to get with Nancy, even though I don't like that pairing because of how it started in the first place, but we'll get to that later. Hopper finally gets to have Hopper gets a second chance at having a daughter in his life. Justice for Barb. Barb finally gets done, done justice.
Yeah, exactly.
11 was able to close the gate.
By the way, yeah. Yep. By the way, speaking of Hopper, I kind of wish that Mark was on here so that way he would be able to talk about his favorite actor, David Harbour.
David Harbour really is great in this show. We'll get to him in season 3, but he's really great in this show. Like he is probably one of the strongest like adult actors in like as far as like adult characters in the show. I feel like am I missing anything?
I don't think so.
Well, anybody else have anything left?
So I would say it's a pretty great season though.
I would say
my favorite.
Like I said, it's not as strong as the first season, but I would say it was still enjoyable. So,
well then, I guess now is as good a time as any to bring this up. So, with the end of season 2, we have let's keep a timeline here. Stranger Things came out in 2016. First season came out in 2016. About a year later, around Halloween time, is when season 2 comes out. And while yes, you can notice that the characters look a little older and their voices are changing and going through puberty, it was still pretty convincing to pass off these kids as kids because they were still kids. They weren't significantly older. That is where a problem starts to set in because season 3 would come out in 2019, and boy, do I have a lot of things to say about season 3, and it's a lot of negatives. And so without further ado, let's get to probably the most divisive season of the entire show, Stranger Things season 3. So, Stranger Things 3. I was talking about this with my friend a couple of days ago. I like to think of this season as the Batman Forever of this show. It's the Batman Forever of this show. And why I say that is because
don't fucking denigrate Batman Forever for this shit. Don't fucking even get out of here with that shit. Batman Forever has quality. This fucking does not.
No, wait. I'm getting to that. I'm not trying to diminish. Devin disagrees.
Yeah, well, Devin fucking is an idiot, so he can fucking suck my nut.
Hey.
Fucking shut the fuck up.
The reason why I say that it's the Batman Forever of this show, because what does season 1 and 2 of Stranger Things have in common with Batman and Batman Returns? The tone is consistent. And season 2, just like Batman Returns, it's not really the most, well, at least by the public at the time, it wasn't really the most receptive of the out of the two, but it still was pretty solid. The season 1 and season 2, the tone was pretty consistent and it remained the same. And then we get season 3 of Stranger Things, where it basically becomes a blockbuster now. And now it becomes a lot more goofier, a lot colorful. We get a lot more comedy. And like I said, I'm not trying to, diss Batman Forever or whatnot. But but when it comes to Batman Forever, what are the main things that people talk about for Batman Forever?
Bat nipples.
Besides that, when it comes to people criticizing it, what are the main criticisms?
Nicole Kidman wanting to fuck Batman.
I mean, if I was Batman and Nicole Kidman, and I mean, that's not the point. The point is, when it comes to Batman Forever, what are the three main critiques of that film?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's bat nipples and Two-Face and the tone? I don't fucking know.
Okay, so you got one of them. The tone, the product placement, and the colorful like shit. That's the same thing in season 3. We get a lot of product placement, and I mean a lot of product placement. We will get to that scene later, but funny enough, as I'm saying this, but no, there's a reason I never mind.
Then again,
I'm just saying that was the thing I had,
But it's a very colorful, very vibrant season. The tone is very goofy at times, and we got a lot of product placement. So with season 3, it takes place in the summer of 1984, and it also came out during the summertime. So that was also, I remember this very vividly because I was in Washington, D.C. when Stranger Things season 3 came out. Season 3 takes place during the 4th of July in Hawkins, and we see that the main characters are living a pretty normal life now. Mike and Eleven, their relationship is rock solid. We get to see that Dustin's getting a girlfriend. I'm assuming people are talking about. He's talking about Batman Forever. But yeah, everyone's getting in relationships. Everyone's getting summer jobs. We get it. We have a new mall. Everything's peaceful until we realize that secretly underneath the brand new mall, there is a laboratory that are run by Russians. Yeah. We got Russians in this bitch now, and it's basically leaning. And the 80s stereotypes are very strong in this season. One of the main positives of the first 2 seasons is that while they reference a lot of 80s stuff, it was very subtle. They weren't like in your face with it. They're very in your face with it in season 3. We have a character who's basically the Terminator. Hopper is now Magnum PI. We have it's a lot of we get a whole singing montage dedicated to a movie that came out in the 80s. Never ending story. We have a literal product placement for New Coke.
Yep.
A
product that doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
As I'm drinking Coca-Cola right now. Brought to you by Coca-Cola. We are not sponsored. And
not brought to you by San Pellegrino or Sprite either.
Brought to you by Spot.
And the Russians are trying to figure they have clearly discovered there's a gate, and they're trying to get access to the Upside Down. We have discovered that the Mind Flayer has taken a new host. In season 2, the host was Will, but they were able to get the Mind Flayer out of Will, and the Mind Flayer was able to get a hold of a new. We all know Dr. Pepper's the official drink of the cool kids. The Mind Flayer has now been able to attach itself to a new host, and that host is Billy. So Billy actually has a bigger role in season 3, where in season 2 he was pretty much a bully, asshole, racist older brother who didn't really have that much of part in the story. We now see that Billy is pretty much the secondary villain of season 3. We get to see how more of his backstory. We get to see a lot of like I said, new characters. We get introduced to Robin, who I would say is probably at her best in season 3, and she probably has one of the best scenes of the entire show and in the entire series with her dynamic with Steve. And we get a lot of storylines, and most of them aren't really flushed out the greatest, because it kind of ends up just staying focused to the main thing, where it's the good guys fight against the bad guys. We get a lot. The main group gets split up, which is something that the show really does like doing a lot. In season 3, Dustin gets split up from the rest of the party. He's with Steve, Robin, and Erica, who is Lucas's little brother. Meanwhile, 11, Mike, Lucas, Max, Jonathan, and Nancy are all on their own, side quest to trying to fight the Mind Flayer. So, I've been talking so much. What are you guys' thoughts on season 3, or at least the plot?
Overall, I think, like, joking aside, I don't think it's an atrociously awful season.
Oh yeah, no, it's not bad.
But it's just so, it was just so not good. Like, if I had to give a rating, if we're doing that, I'd like to season 1 to give it like a 9.5, maybe a 10 out of 10. Like season 2, maybe 9.5. This I'd give a 6, maybe a 6.5. Like, it's just so mediocre. It's just so mid. Like, it's so mid, and it's just, I like a couple of things from it. Billy's sacrifice and the mall. Again, they're doing I feel like the mall is it's an intriguing idea, but executed poorly. And I feel like bringing in really big real world events into the show lost a bit of luster for me. Like, for instance, they're bringing in mall culture, which was even bigger in the 80s than it was in the 70s. Was the rise of the mall. 80s was the huge, and again, how it fucks up the whole stability of a small town economy and all that. But it's I want to see psychics fight fucking monsters. I don't want to see how mall culture fucked up middle America. I don't give a fucking shit about this. And then the Russians are bringing in the Cold War. I get it. Real world. Got it. I don't fucking care. I get the whole basis of the show is based on a real thing. Montauk, the whole LSD and psychedelic experiments of the 50s and 60s. I get it. It's based on that. And you're going to have people, we know the people, they're like, well, it still works. I don't care. I don't fucking care. The reason that season 1 and 2 worked is because it was in this pocket. Obviously, you had pop culture stuff. You had, like, I mean, the whole basis, you had Dungeons and Dragons, you had this, you had that. Cool, great, awesome. And even though it affects the storyline, and even though it, like, you could on paper, you could say, oh, it makes sense. Like, it's in the 80s. It's about the Cold War. Oh, it's in the 80s. You bring the Russians into it. Yeah. And then, like, a whole mall culture and stuff like that. But it just feels inconsistent with the previous 2 seasons. Like, it feels like it doesn't mesh. Like, it just doesn't work. They're trying to bring, in order to, like, further the show, I feel like there wasn't enough lore to stabilize, like, continuing it and having it build. So they had to, like, introduce, like, fucking other shit into here, like fucking, like, Cold War and mall culture. It just falls apart in my eyes. And I feel like that basis of it is just very ridiculous. And it's far from bad. It's just such a huge step down. Like, you had, like, 2 great seasons of television, but then, like, season 3 is just such this, like, big step down. Okay. But, like, it just didn't work for me. It has its moments, but for the most part, I just think, like, they turn tides way too, like, it just, I think there should have been, like, a slower build up, and this was another problem with season 4 that I had, but we'll get into that soon. But season 3, I think it's a huge step down. I think it's it doesn't feel like it's a part of the same show anymore. That's the thing. It doesn't feel like it's a part of the same show anymore. Like, as I was saying with season 2, that built upon the foundation of season 1. It worked, and you continue that. Here, it just it feels like a fucking 180 almost. So that's, for me, is why it just doesn't work.
I'll be honest with you. I kind of wish that I had rewatched some of these seasons sooner, because I'll be honest with you, season 3, I don't know if if I rewatch them, I don't know if my opinion will change or not. But from what I remember, is that this probably might be my least favorite season. And the reason for that is because I don't remember a whole lot about this one. This is pretty much the season that I remember the least. So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember a whole lot of what happened. Like I said, maybe if I had rewatched it, maybe my opinion will change or something. But from what I remember, for what I know, is that this was just so forgettable. I really don't, because I mean, as much as season 4 will have its problems, and we'll get to that soon, I at least remember some things about season 4. This, I couldn't tell you what happened. I'll be honest with you. In fact, I honestly kind of forgot a lot about it that happened. Like, a lot of the things that you guys mentioned, I forgot a lot about it. So I know I don't have much to say about it, but that's why I'm kind of beating myself and wishing that I had prepared more ahead of time. But as far as I remember,
it's all good.
This was probably the weakest, but only because I don't remember anything that happens in this one.
I would say that season 3, because at the time, I really, really loved this. Like, season 3 is where Stranger Things became, like, a global phenomenon. Like, it was already popular, but season 3 is where it really became the more, like, commercialized. Like, is that a word?
Yeah, commercialization of it all.
Yeah, like, this was like that's why I say, like, this is the Batman Forever of the show, because it was the most commercialized part. Like, season, we got a lot of merch, a lot of, like, people were starting to tune in, like, the popularity. Like, season 3 was really, like, the peak of its popularity, and With that comes a lot of like this season does have a lot of problems, and I will say, like, I think if I kind of go back and forth on which is the weakest, this one or season 2, because we'll get to season 4 later. But yeah, with the biggest problem for me in season 3 is just the characters are kind of like all over the place, and that is where my problems really start to come, or I start to have a lot more problems with the show, because not a lot of characters really get a lot of focus. If your names aren't Dustin, Steve, or Robin for season 3, and Billy and 11. If you're not any of these characters, you basically don't matter anymore. You kind of are just there to just to tag along. Lucas doesn't really get a lot more. Lucas does absolutely nothing in season 3 other than that Coke scene
and like pining after Sadie Sink, and that's kind of it.
God, don't even get me started with Mike. Mike, who you, and again, I will get to Mike we will get to Mike later, but Mike really doesn't get a lot to do. He didn't really get a lot to do in season 2 either. And in season 3, he doesn't really get to do a lot other than, his arc is, coming is, he loves 11. Like, he verbally said out loud, like, I love 11. And, he's trying to navigate his feelings, and Mike and 11 have a break. It's one of those seasons. Oh, the couple is at their strongest, and then they break up, and then they get back together in the end, and then it's all sunshine and rainbows. So, I will say that Mike, 11 and Max, they become friends in season 3, and I would say the mall sequence where Max takes 11 to the mall and she gets to actually experience like being a teenage girl, which is something she wasn't really able to be. She never really got to experience like what it's like to be a kid and everything. That was a pretty nice scene. But I will say, I forgot all about Jonathan and Nancy. Jonathan and Nancy. I mean, okay, actually, no. I'll give Nancy some love. Nancy actually has a really good storyline in season 3 where she's working at the paper with Jonathan, and Jonathan they're both interns, and Nancy has a harder time of navigating through that world because she is a woman in the 1980s, and she's working in a paper that's filled with a lot of men, and they are very disrespectful, they're rude, they demean her, even though she has great ideas, and they're not taking her seriously. And she has an arc of discovery and she has like a really great scene with her mother where she talks about how, Nancy, you are a fighter, you are strong, like you anything you want in this world, like you go out and get in, don't let anyone tell you you're less than or whatnot. So I will actually give Nancy has a great storyline this season. And she also gets her revenge on those asshole paper guys later on, because we get a lot of brutality in season 3. But I will say this. I think the biggest missed opportunity when it comes to a character and what arc they could have had is none other than Will. Will in season 3 has the most wasted potential in the entire show, especially in season 3.
And then in season 4, they're like, "Fuck it, just make him gay. That'll give him some development."
Okay, we'll get to that later, but
we'll get into that later. But I just love because season 2 offered something really good that they never built upon. Like, this kid lost his childhood. Like, this kid fucking lost so much shit because he was in the Upside Down. He lost his life. He lost. I don't know how long it was weeks. So
he was gone for a month
about a month. That's a lot. That's a lot of trauma. And he lost a lot in there. And now he wants to spend time with his friends, and all these friends are growing up, and it's just it's nothing. We don't get that. It's just nothing. So it's just
exactly.
So, and because they present it, because it's the whole first 2 seasons is he was in the Upside Down and then he was hospitalized. So you have all that shit, and he's connected to the flare or whatever the fuck it's called. And then here it's just they present this idea of he lost a lot and now he's stuck in this weird place. but all his friends are like growing up now. So it's just like, oh, okay. And then they kind of just fuck off with that. Like, yeah. It's like, oh, hey, he didn't grow up, but we're not going to do anything with that because 11, she's the fucking face of the show and all that goddamn shit.
Like they had a good opportunity because Will and Mike have this scene where Will is basically going off on Mike and he's like, dude, like, you guys never want to play anymore. You guys never want to play or hang out and do D&D anymore. Like, you guys don't have time anymore. And Mike is like, listen, like, we're not kids anymore. Like, did you expect us to, like, for us to never grow up and get girlfriends and actually have fun and be teenagers? Like, did you expect us to play games in my basement for the rest of our lives? And we get to see that really affects Will because, yeah, Will never really had a childhood. He never really had a childhood. He had a childhood, but his childhood at the peak of it got robbed from him because of what happened with him being kidnapped and also being possessed by the Mind Flayer. And there's this great scene of him destroying Castle Byers, which is basically the culmination of his childhood. And he destroys Castle Byers, and it's a very heartbreaking scene. And then that basically just ends because now we have to get to the nitty gritty of season 3 because the Mind Flayer is back, and like they just kind of do all with him. And well, I'll get to Will in season 4. Like, we will get to Will in season 4 because because if you think they did nothing with him in season 3, they damn sure didn't give a fuck about him in season 4. Like, they did not care for him at all in season 4. And another character in season 3 that also goes through a very weird shift is Hopper. Hopper in season 3 has 2 modes in this season: action hero or an angry dad / jerk. Literally, that's either mode he goes into. He's either very, very, very angry all the time and just yelling and being a dick to Joyce and Mike and 11, or he's being, like I said, he's Magnum PI and he's saving the day and he's being
he's either Arnold Schwarzenegger or disgruntled parents.
Yeah. And I just don't understand why now all of a sudden he doesn't know what a heart-to-heart is. He doesn't know how to talk about his feelings, even though in season 2 he had a whole heartfelt, speech to 11, and he knows what a heart-to-heart is. But in season 3, he doesn't know how to do that. Like, he's now angry all the time. He's like just this buffoon of a character. I don't know why they did a whole character reset. And fast forward to the end of the season 3, Hopper dies. And he has a heartfelt letter. And by the way, if you couldn't tell that this came out in 2019, where we had a speech at the end and we have a, pseudo I love you 3000 moment, because we got a lot of speeches when it comes to a character's death in 2019. Tony Stark, Luke Skywalker, Daenerys Targaryen. I'm not mentioning Game of Thrones, but you get the point. But yeah, I mean, they didn't really do a good job with some characters. But let's talk about the characters that were done well. Dustin is still an amazing character, and Steve as well gets to have some development. This is him fresh out of high school. He no longer is, he's not going to college. He works at an ice cream shop, and he's still trying to. And he still thinks that popularity is everything. He still tries to pick up girls, and he's failing because he doesn't really have a direction in life. And he thinks that getting a girlfriend or getting popularity is all that matters when it really isn't. And we get introduced to Robin, who is a sarcastic, no nonsense, very smart girl. And we get to see that and throughout the entire season, it builds us. It makes us think that something is going to get built up between Steve and Robin, and that Steve is falling for the nerdy, quirky, sarcastic girl, and they're finally going to get together to where they subvert our expectations. Robin comes out as being a lesbian, and what does Steve do? He's supportive. He's very supportive, and he's very
which, like, I don't think would have happened realistically, but I understand why they didn't go that direction.
Yeah, But I mean, Steve is like a good guy now. I don't think he would.
Well, because like the whole thing was like the AIDS epidemic was happening at the time, which was like very super like anti-gay. So there was that, but like I get why they didn't do that. And now looking back, I'm glad they didn't do that because they already brought enough real world shit into the show. I don't think it would have done it any good if they brought something else into the show. So there's that too.
But yeah, like I said, Robin coming out is definitely one of the best like scenes of the show. Like it's very like raw and emotional, and it's a great moment for Steve as a character to get more development and him being accepting of Robin and them being like best friends. And I like that again, throws us for a loop because I was thinking that Robin and Steve are going to get together, and then that happened. I'm like, oh, you know what? That's great. That's great. Steve ends up getting more development as a character, and Robin, we get to see Robin, being very vulnerable for the first time and whatnot. And I will say the funniest like scene of season 3 is probably the never-ending story sequence. That was pretty funny. As goofy as it is,
it's goofy, bro. It's goofy.
But it was pretty fun.
I'm not complaining because I love the never-ending story. No.
Yeah. But season 3, it leaves off a cliffhanger. Oh, the Russians have a Demogorgon in their base. They have an American in their prison.
Gee whiz, I wonder who the fuck that is.
Yeah, I wonder who that is. And 11 doesn't have her powers anymore. 11, Nancy. I said Nancy. 11, Joyce. Oh, 11 ends up moving to California with the Byers family. So that's, a dynamic that is also pretty interesting now that 11 and Will are going to be like, they end up becoming, I guess you can say, brother, sister, adoptive, whatever that you want to call it. The dynamic, the tone is kind of shifting. Like, it's kind of like an end of another like of an era pretty much, because everyone's now like kind of splitting up, and it does set up a lot of things for season 4, which I guess we can now segue into season 4. But before we do, I have to mention again, keep it up with the timeline. So 2019, so this season came out in 2019. And you can clearly see that the kids are now getting a lot. They look older now, and they're going through puberty. And goddamn, how many flashbacks did Will have in season 3?
Not to mention this season 4 pretty much had to be delayed because of a certain pandemic that happened.
Yeah. So it's 2019. Yeah, it came out in 2019, a year before. Yeah. Insert Vietnam flashbacks. So it would end up coming out. Oh my god. So yeah, season 4 comes out 3 years later in 2022. Which, fun fact, I graduated in 2022 from high school, so that was a plus. But yeah, a 3-year delay from Stranger Things season 3 and 4, and boy, do these kids look like they could probably work a 9-to-5 job now. So without further ado, let's get to Stranger Things season 4. So, season 4. Season 4 takes place in spring break. Yeah, spring break of 1985. Spring break of 1985. The kids are now in. No, wait, is it 1980? Hold on, let me see.
Hold on, I'll look.
Somebody check Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Keith,
oh yeah, I'll just continue. So basically,
March
kids are now,
1986.
so yeah, spring break of 1986. And the kids are now in high school. We get to see. It's hilarious that apparently they're supposed to be playing freshmen in high school, but they look like they could be seniors. Yeah, it's very distracting now that these kids look like adults. They're adults now. It's kind of funny, but Mike, Dustin, Max, and Lucas are in high school. They're freshmen. Mike and Dustin are now in a club called the Hellfire Club where they do Dungeons and Dragons. Kind of fucked up they decided to do Dungeons and Dragons now that Will is no longer in Hawkins. Like, y'all weren't doing it in season 3 and now you're doing it now all of a sudden.
I do agree with that one.
Yeah.
So, but I'll wait till it's my turn.
Yeah. And meanwhile, while everything's happening in Hawkins, 11 and Will are in high school in California, and 11 is having a hard time to adjust to being in a new place. She's being bullied, being, picked on for being, she's like the freak. I don't know if they were kind of trying to pay homage to Carrie. I think they were, honestly. But, we see that, 11's getting picked on. Will kind of really doesn't, he's not really a fighter kind of guy. So he's not really the type to, really jump in and help 11, but he is like there for her when, everything's going down and everything. And we see that Jonathan is now a stoner. Okay. Jonathan's just kind of here now, and I don't know why. But then all of a sudden, then everything gets suddenly, all the peacefulness, everything gets slowly abrupted when we finally get introduced to the big bad of the entire series, and that guy's name is Vecna. So Vecna has apparently was here the whole time. It was Vecna all along. He pulled the strings, and he's the one that created the shadow monster, the mind flayer, or I think he's working with the mind flayer. And then you have by the way, Vecna is a bad mother. Like that dude is a very he's no Demogorgon. He's like Freddy Krueger in this. So basically how Vecna works, he basically, when it comes to he picks his targets very carefully. Those who suffer from trauma, those who suffer from trauma, heartbreak, all these negative emotions, he feeds on it, and then when he gets you into his grasp, you're basically dead. Like there's no way out of it. Like you're basically dead. And the inciting incident in season 4 is with this popular girl named Vicky, who was trying to buy drugs from a new character named Eddie Munson, who's played by Joseph Quinn, who was probably like one of the best highlights of season 4. And because of the show, he has now become a mega star, basically. He's trying to, give her some weed, sell her some drugs, and then basically, Chrissy gets dogged by Vecna in the most brutal way possible. He breaks her limbs and claws her eyes out right in front of Eddie. And Eddie, who is very rightfully so freaked out, runs away because obviously he doesn't know what's going on, and the town doesn't know what just happened. So they're going to automatically blame Eddie Munson for the murder. So he's now on the run. And then meanwhile, we have all these, all the characters in Hawkins minus Mike, because Mike ends up going to California to visit 11, and we'll get to that subplot later. But pretty much everyone in Hawkins is trying to figure out this new mystery. Why are new gates opening? Why are these victims getting picked off one by one? And then we get to the main subplot, at least for Hawkins, because the new target of Vecna is none other than Max. And like I said in season 2, Max is pretty much the standout star of season 4. Like, she gets so much to do. Her character is at its best here, and Sadie. This is probably Sadie Sink's like best performance, like as the character. We get to dive into what her life has been since season 3. Like, she's her parents divorced. She now lives in a trailer park with her mom, and her mom it's insinuated that her mom is a developing alcoholic. She's traumatized, suffers from PTSD after watching Billy die right in front of her. And we see that her life is at an all-time low. She's pretty distant from everyone. She broke up with Lucas. And guess what? Like I said before, Vecna feeds on trauma. So guess who is the new target? It's Max. So everyone is now trying to save Max from Vecna and trying to prevent her from being the next, victim on his list. And meanwhile, in California, Mike is visiting 11, and 11 is pretty much, a lot of stuff happens with 11. She gets bullied, humiliated publicly at a roller skating rink, and she hits her bully with a skate to the face, and that was pretty brutal. And she gets arrested, and then we find out that Dr. Brenner gets a hold of her and tries to convince her to get her powers back because he feels that something is coming, and he needs her to be prepared. And she goes to get her powers back, and then we dive deeper into her origin story. We get more backstory into how she got these powers in the first place. Why is she so important? We get someone from her past that helps her at Hawkins' lab. And we got a lot of storylines in the season, but I don't want to say everything. So everyone else who wants to talk about season 4 first or second, or you know what I mean.
I got you.
You want to go? I was good. Yeah, we got you. You go on, John. You on, John.
But yeah, I think season 4. I think I don't know which one. I think it's this is the worst season for me. This is it's so bad. As Devin said in the side chat, it's very slow moving. Like, each episode is like 1 to 2 hours long. It feels like it, at least. And it's just a slog. And the thing is, I think the thing that fucking annoys me is that the first episode promised something so good with Chrissy dying, and like her fucking getting like eviscerated by Vecna, and like, whoa, where does this lead to? Oh, it's just the most generic slop you can possibly imagine. Oh, it turns out that the person in charge of all of this was just a guy. Okay, and now he looks like Tentacle Man because he breeded with the Upside Down and now evil. And then you have the whole thing with like the whole fucking California subplot with Mike goes over there.
Oh, by the way, before we will get to Will later. Let's put up.
And then pause on the whole Will. I will say I like Argyle. Like, he's funny. Like, I thought he was like one of the better parts of the season. And then like Jonathan just becomes this like asshole, boring stoner character because they don't know what the fuck to do with him, because it's like, oh well, he's with Nancy now, so that's the only thing he had to his character, so that's all that we're gonna do with him now. Make him a stoner. Cool. And then none of the stuff is terribly interesting. Like, I didn't really care about the mystery. It's just like, it reminds me of I forget what review this was, but it reminds me of like when Vecna was being revealed. It reminds me of Doug Walker being like, "Oh my god, some guy! Oh my god, a guy!" Ooh, it's like, why do I fucking care? It's some fucking like himbo twink looking motherfucker being like, oh, he was the guy in charge of all of this. And it's like, all right, okay, whatever. Like, why do I give a shit? And then they wasted Robert Englund, so fuck them for that. Robin, I hated Robin this fucking season. She was so goddamn annoying. Like she went from like kind of chill, like, you know, chick to like just like over accentuating like the tism for some reason. Not like that. I'm not like saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying like it was just so inconsistent in terms of her character. Like she was just like kind of this like cool chill kind of chick, and then it just like again full 180 that comes out of fucking nowhere. If they like did that in the previous season, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But the fact that like she becomes like this weird stuttering fucking like I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up. What are you doing to this character?
Yeah, like she's not like a character who just like talk, like who doesn't know how to stop talking. She's like, she's not. Where in season 3, like she was pretty, like she was smart, like sarcastic, but she also wasn't like she didn't seem to have like she probably was probably one of the smartest of the like
characters. And now she, like again, it was like a total 180, and they kind of treat her like she feels like she went from like this really smart chill character to like a Shaggy type character where she's just like zoinks guys, we gotta get out of here type of thing, but like even worse than Shaggy, and it just felt like mad fucking weird. Like, and then it's just like kind of like what you were saying about season 3. It's just like so many characters are just there, like they don't do anything. Like I feel like I don't even like. Oh, and you also have the fucking Russian subplot.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Oh
like, where
god,
they fly to Russia, like. I'm like, wait, was that season 3? I was like going like, was that season 3 or season 4? Because everything blends together.
I forgot all about that.
But like,
how did I forget about that?
Yeah, the only thing I remember from that was Winona Ryder's side boob, and I'm like, this is like the best episode ever because of just that. So I'm like, all right, cool. But that was weird. But I did like seeing Murray torch a bunch of Demogorgons. That was cool. With that goddamn flamethrower. But like, yeah, that was fucking weird. Like that, there was that whole subplot, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, don't get me wrong, I like the clock ticking and like the build up of like Vecna killing someone. That was kind of cool. Like, I'll admit that. Like, there were some like cool aspects, but like unlike season 3, I'm like, okay, I can kind of see a lot of faults with this, but I'm like, I'm still kind of this. I was so like. There were very few cool, like I hated Eddie Munson at first, but then he really grew on me by the end of it. I think Joseph Quinn was just that likable. And that also brings in another big thing that I didn't like, that I was saying about season 3, was that I hated like the whole idea of like bringing like real world events. And this one, they bring in the satanic panic, which, because like, I mean, Dungeons and Dragons, that seems like best, but it like, I get it. On the surface, on paper, it makes sense to bring these aspects into the show. You have, Cold War, mall culture, satanic panic. These are all very 80s things that would have been brought up. But the thing is, I liked the containment of seasons 1 and 2, where you had pop culture, but it was still this story. Bringing in all these real world aspects, I feel like just makes it feel more generic and kind of diminishes the specialness of it all. And I think, and as Devin said, the pacing of it all, it just feels like even worse than season 3 for me. Like, it just had so many stupid aspects. The pacing was terrible. So many characters don't do anything of note. I hated the love triangle shit. Like Steve like Harrington fucking admitting his love for her. It's like, bro, she doesn't love you anymore. Just move on. And at this point, I just wanted fucking Nancy to die, so we don't.
It's not even like Nancy anymore. But like, I mean, yeah, but it's kind of hard for people to like accept the fact that it's one-sided, where Nancy is clearly entertaining the idea. Like it's very obvious.
Like, it's annoying. It just brings in another aspect that, the love triangle is just like, oh, bro, fucking shoot me. And it just, I just didn't like it. There was just so many stupid decisions in season 4, like so many fucking stupid decisions in season 4, that it just, like, I would give, like, if like, let's say season 1 9.5, season 2 9.5, season 3 like a 6, maybe. I'll be nice and say 6.5. This was like a 4. Like, I would say like 3.5, 4. It was just so bad. Like it just like it was so bad. Like it just again the Upside Down still looks cool. Like it has a couple cool aspects, but like the entire season, I was just begging for it to be over. Like pretty much after episode 1, I'm just like, please, for the love of God, put me out of my fucking misery.
Oh my.
Like Jesus Christ, it just got so bad. And I just can't see how anybody likes this shit anymore. I can't. Like, obviously, I'll watch the last season. 1, because you can't judge anything until you fully see it. And 2, I was with it from the beginning. Might as well see it till the end. Unless they like do season 6 out of nowhere. Fuck you, The Bear, for doing that. I'm not watching your garbage season 5 in addition to your fucking garbage season 4. Fuck you for that, The Bear, assholes. Anyway,
So,
all right.
but yeah, I just this was overall just like for the most part a terrible experience. Has some cool things, but for the most part it was just bad.
Okay. So as I said, season 3, I felt that to be the weakest, only because of how forgettable a lot of the things happened. Because while this was a bit of a step up for me, because I at least remember more of it, whether it's good or bad, I can at least say that I remember a little bit more about it. I do agree that the pacing was terrible. It so many scenes kept dragging on for so long. Like what was it? Each episode was like what, anywhere between like an hour to 2 hours.
The finale was almost 2 hours. But mostly, like, I think every episode was at least an hour.
But it seems like this, I do agree with what everything Devin said. Like the pacing was just so terrible. So many characters did feel wasted to me. And it seems like a lot of the ones that we've been following from season 1, they didn't know what to do with it. I actually said this like years ago when I was on my friend Zach's stream when we were doing like the X-Men ranking. When we got to Dark Phoenix, I talked about how Magneto was in there because they didn't know what the fuck to do. He was in the other movies. They didn't know what the fuck to do with them. And it's the same thing here with season 4 with a lot of these characters, whether it's 11 or Mike, they just, a lot of them, Jonathan, they just didn't know what to do with them. So they were just like there, it didn't feel really earned, I will say about, I didn't mind what's Eddie's sacrifice at the end and all. I honestly didn't mind that at all, and just what they were doing there with by the end. But the thing is that I do agree that the pacing was terrible, and the fact that so many characters that we've been following, just a lot of them just felt very wasted, and they didn't know what to do with these characters. So, like I said, a bit of a step up for me from season 3, but only because I remember more about this one than I do anything in season 3. But overall, it's still a far cry from the first 2 seasons. So I'll just leave it at that.
I'm just going to say this for the dude in the chat. None of us are high right now. I don't know why you keep fucking talking about like staying stone and smoking pot. None of us are high. We are all sober right now. So just like stop with the fucking high shit. I don't mind if you like to smoke. Is there something you want? I partake from time to time.
Are you secretly... Are you secretly smoking weed right now?
Just enough with the fucking weed talk. We got it. We're good. Damn. Shit.
All right. So, because I think out of every season, each season we've talked about more. So with season 4, there are a lot of things about season 4. While I think out of everybody, I think I like season 4 the most. I have it at ranked number 2. Oh, crap. I think Rob is... Oh, shit. I like season 4 the most out of all of us. I have it ranked at number 2. But when it comes to things that you like, you can criticize the things that you like. And as much as I do like season 4, there are things about season 4 that I have issues with. And it's mostly, once again, with the characters. And this is going to take a while because there are now a lot of characters in this show. So I'll go, you know what? Screw it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. I kind of withheld John from. I kind of told John to hold off until I brought it up. But let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Hey, I'm not that fat.
Not you. Talking about Will. Yep. So before I get into this,
put a chicken in
if anyone is who's a fan of Will that's watching this, I'm only criticizing Will. I'm only criticizing Will because of how they wrote his character. And him being gay, I don't even have a problem with it because it's kind of, if people have watched this show, it's pretty obvious. They kind of said they insinuated it back in season 1. It's not out of nowhere, out of the blue that now he's gay. It's pretty obvious. Do I care about him having a crush on Mike? No, I don't know why he has a crush on Mike. I think that him having a crush on Mike is not an issue. It's the fact that that's all that he gets to do. You have a character who outside of 11 has a lot of ties to the Upside Down and to Vecna, which we will get to when we talk. You know what? Fuck it. I'll talk about it now. Vecna basically was behind everything, including the kidnapping of Will. He was the one that kept him captive when Joyce and Hopper finally found him. He was in his lair. Oh, he's back.
Guess who's back? Back again. Guess who's back?
Oh,
it's Rob again.
You good?
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
We're talking about Will.
Oh shit!
Right now.
Oh shit! Hold on.
Oh, what?
Hold on. Go ahead. Just keep talking.
Oh, so yeah, this season, he doesn't really get a lot to do except for basically his entire arc or his entire character is basically just him being, secretly struggling with his sexuality and him being in love with Mike. And that is something that could be a conflict for Will, but the fact that it's the entire conflict of his character, it's pretty bad. This is a character who should be on the same tier of importance as 11. He has ties to the Upside Down. He's connected to Vecna, but they do nothing with it. It's only until once they go back to Hawkins in the finale where Will is basically back to being important again. And hopefully, from what we have heard, he's supposed to be the main character or he's supposed to be the main focus of the final season, which, for God's sake, can Will get something to do? Will's not even really my favorite character. And it's basically because I like Will as a character, but he's not really my favorite or one of my favorites because they don't do anything with him. He was a plot device for season 1 and season 2. In season 3, they had a lot of potential with him as a character to explore, and they did nothing. And then in season 4, he's wasted once again just to basically be goo goo gaga for Mike. And to anybody who's complaining, oh, why are they making Will get? Dude, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Bro.
I just think it's just kind of like they go so hard with it this season. It's just they were kind of, as you said, you could kind of tell the implication was there, and then they just full on just go with it. I feel like it should have been maybe saved for the final season. It didn't need to be, because I feel like that should have been a finality. Maybe he'll admit it in season 5. That could be interesting. But I feel like it should have been more of a buildup because I feel like they rushed it a little bit too much in this one. But I still think it was fine for the most part. It's just
honestly,
Will, as you said, he was given nothing to fucking do.
Honestly, part of the reason why I think it's kind of in your face with it is because there is a subsection of fans who ship Mike and Will together. So this, and they didn't really do a lot with it in the last 3 seasons. So season 4 was kind of them giving that fan base what they want and be the ship is finally happening, which I don't if you ship those two, then you do. Hey, do it. Hey, just don't get toxic if it doesn't happen. That's all. Because shit, like, God forbid we need to have another. God forbid we need to have another franchise where it gets ruined because of toxic ship culture. I mean, it happened in Arrow.
My Hero Academia. Anybody?
It happened in Arrow with Felicity and Oliver. Like that ship ruined like the show for a while. It wait, what?
But
I don't know. But yeah. To those who have a problem with Will, because seriously, like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, seriously, like, get over yourself, or don't watch the show.
Yeah.
But Will,
Will.
It's really, it honestly hurts. It honestly hurts to watch Will do absolutely nothing for 4 seasons straight. Because Noah Schnapp is an amazing actor.
especially since like he was a main he had a main role in the first season, and it's like that's
not really. He was kind of a plot device.
Well, no, I mean they had a reason for them to go into the underside kind of things. What I'm trying to get at.
And like Noah Schnapp is an amazing. He's probably like one of the best actors in the show, and they don't do anything with him, and that sucks. So yeah, it's very disappointing that Will just doesn't get anything to do, and on top of another character who gets nothing to do, Mike. Mike is, I swear, like, I feel, and if it's not obvious, Mike is probably one of my favorite, if not, he's one of, because he used to be my favorite character. Back in season 1 and season 2, he was my favorite character. Now, it's painful being a Mike fan because he doesn't really get to do anything. He doesn't do anything either. His entire character arc is basically just him being, I love you, 11, even though they did that in season 3, and now apparently he doesn't know how to say I love you. That's all he gets to do. And that's annoying. Another character, I mean, yeah, Robin, her character personality wise just gives us a complete 180. And I don't know why. Like, Robin was a smart, intelligent, character, and now they just made her like dumb for some reason, or I don't know why they did that. Jonathan gets nothing to do.
Yeah.
Joyce, Joyce is always good, but
it's like I said before, it's like the reason why I didn't go into detail about like a lot of these characters was because it's all the same thing. They didn't know what to do with them. They were characters that we've been following in the beginning, and they feel completely wasted. So I just figured there was,
but characters that are done well. I mean, Dustin's always good. Nancy, I like Nancy, but Nancy is basically, I think her character arc is honestly kind of complete. She's now just like an action hero, which is cool. I mean, it's not like it came out of nowhere. We got to see Nancy develop into her being an independent woman who can take care of herself and do all these cool things, because in season 1, in season 1, she loses her innocence, both metaphorically and literally. And we see her go through all these trials and tribulations to where she is now able to, be a protector and be able to do something about it, do something about things that are out of her control. But outside of Max, I will say another character who I was really glad that finally had something to do in season 4 was Lucas. And if it isn't obvious, I am a big fan of Lucas. I mean, hello. But I'm really glad that Lucas got to do something this season, because he really didn't get a lot to do in season. He didn't do nothing. He did nothing in season 3. He was just there. Season 2, he was basically just like all he got to really do was compete for Dustin for Max's affection. And in season 1, he was the odd man out when it came to, being on 11's side. Like, he was skeptical of 11, wondering if she could be trusted. In season 4, we get to see Lucas trying to basically, be with the popular group, but also being able to bring his friends with him. Like, he's on the basketball team. He hits a game-winning shot. He's now popular. He's with the cool crowd. And meanwhile, he's also, trying to, still have a relationship with Max and trying to be there for Max. He wants his friends, like he wants Mac, Dustin and Mike to be, to climb up the social ranks with him. It's not even like Lucas is being a jerk or anything. He wants his friends to be popular with him because he wants for all of them to not be bullied. And for Lucas, it's even worse because while he is a nerd, another thing that is also unfortunate, he is a black kid and he's black in the 80s in a world in Indiana, which so he has it the worst out of Mike and Dustin combined. So he's trying to do something about it and make it so that they don't have to worry about that anymore. And his character arc is him learning that he doesn't want to be like a popular kid. He doesn't want to be with that group because they're a bunch of douchebags. And we get to see him have his own, rival with Jason, and I thought that was pretty cool. Like Jason and Lucas having a fight, and one-on-one and everything. Erica is there. She has funny scenes. Like, I don't have a problem with Erica, but she doesn't really have anything to do though. Hopper, also pretty good in season 5 or 4. We get more vulnerable moments with him, and he now is able to just take on a Demogorgon one-on-one with a sword. That was pretty cool. But this is where I will say is the biggest problem with Stranger Things, not just with season 4, but as a show entirely. And it all started in season 2. So I want everybody here, including you guys, what does Bob, Alexi, and Eddie have in common?
Really good one-season characters that are memorable but then die for no reason.
Exactly.
Well, here's the... I will give this... Now, before all the Eddie Munson fangirls get mad at me, I like the character. I like Joseph Quinn. But I will say, what else were they going to do? What, he was going to go back home and go to jail and then fucking die on death row anyway? Like...
I get that,
really
but he
do
didn't
anything
need to
else
die.
with Eddie Munson. Like Bob, that's bullshit. Alexi, for the most part, yeah, on the surface, but like they couldn't do anything else with Eddie because he couldn't go back. Like he couldn't actually live a life because he was either going to be ostracized or jailed or killed. They couldn't really do anything else with him if he went back, so they had to do a noble heroic sacrifice. So that's what
all right. You know what? That would be fine if the arc that he had made a lot more sense. Because his arc was pretty much, I didn't run away. I'm not gonna run away this time. I'm gonna be a hero. Where it's like, dude, you were on the run for something you didn't do, and you had every right to be on the run because you didn't do anything that they're saying that you're doing. And you're also running away from the jocks who are trying to kill you for something you didn't do. And then all of a sudden he had the opportunity to, go back into, to the real world, but he decided to stay behind and do this heroic sacrifice, which didn't really need to happen, but he did it anyway because they needed to kill him off. So I just feel like he didn't need to. If you were to kill him off, that's fine. It's just how he died and the reason for him dying. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. But that goes to show the problem with Stranger Things. How is it that these kids have gone through so much and not one of them has died?
Because they have plot armor?
Even Max. Which, yeah, I forgot to mention, Max gets got by Vecna. Not entirely.
Because plot armor.
But,
exactly.
not entirely, because, her legs only got, broken, and I think she was blind, but she didn't, die. Or sorry, she was on the verge of death in Lucas's arms, but then 11 just pulls a ray and brings her back to life. Okay. You can do that now? Where was this for all of the other characters that died? Like, come on, bro. Like, they didn't even have the balls to kill off Max. Like, that was annoying. Like, I mean, it's very clear that season 4 was supposed to be the Avengers Infinity War, and the final season is Endgame. So why would you not end it off with them not only them losing, but them losing one of their friends in Max? And season 5 would be them getting their revenge. I mean, they're getting their revenge anyway, but also, yeah, by the way, Hawkins got completely and totally destroyed. Not destroyed, but it got man.
Shafted.
Yeah, Vecna was able to connect the real world to the Upside Down, and now the portals are basically it's free pickings, basically, like in a all-out war. That's how season 4 ends. It basically it's going to be like the final battle between the kids and Vecna, and the biggest problem to me in season 4 is that there are way too many characters and there aren't any stakes, because all of the characters just somehow keep surviving. If you want to have some characters survive, then fine, but some of them need to die. It's not like I want to see my favorite characters
It's
die.
like only the new characters die. Like, you had Billy die, you had Eddie Munson die, you had Bob. Either one season characters or very new characters died. The ones who were not like part of it. I think at this point, Mike probably should have died. Like, he probably should have, like, again, maybe noble sacrifice, because they just don't know what to do with him. Will probably should have died at this point, because, again, they didn't know what to, but they need him for the final battle because he's connected to the Upside Down, so they need him. Max probably should have died.
She should have.
Yeah, they should have.
She should have died. I mean, Hopper probably should have died in season 3.
Yeah, it kind of, yes. I mean, Hopper, I mean, I'm happy that Hopper's alive, but like, why did they just do it?
Let's just hope when season 5 gets here that they don't pull a Rise of Skywalker moment on us, where pretty much they act like they're killing off certain characters, but then backpedal on that shit.
Yeah, like or like in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, where there was like 16 fake outs for each fucking character. Like, oh, yep, we're totally gonna nope, we're not. Cool. Great.
I will say, as much as I love Guardians 3, that was kind of like really like you didn't want to kill off anybody. Like, Rocket is understandable, but Quill, but we're not talking about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I like season 4, like the pacing definitely does like become a big issue. The characters, we have way too many characters now, and that's a problem when you keep introducing new characters. The old characters who have been there since day one, they don't get a lot to do anymore. And you have characters now, their personalities aren't the same as what they used to be, and then their whole character now revolves around another character, and they don't have a sense of urgency anymore. Like, remember when Mike was basically the leader and kind of the main character of the show? Not that I have an issue with 11 being the main character of the show. I understand why she is, because she's the one with powers, but Mike is the leader of the party, and you just have him, his entire character just revolves around 11 now. Like, I get it that they're together, but he doesn't need, his entire existence doesn't need to be solely based off of his relationship with 11, and that's a problem. It's just, yeah, you got a lot of, I'm sorry, I guess we can just segue into season 5 now. So yeah, what are you guys' expectations for season 5? I'll go last. I'll go last because
Rob will go first because the reverse order.
Yeah, we'll go. Yeah, I'll go first. So for season 5, I'm honestly curious on how it's going to end. The only thing that worries me is that after these last two, gets me a little bit iffy because, like I said, it really scares me that I don't want them to pull like a Rise of Skywalker and try to backpedal on shit, because this is the finale. You're supposed to have sacrifices, This is supposed to be like the big build up to everything. And I feel like yeah, I agree. Some characters should be able to die, to build up to something. There should be some kind of something big to build up to, you know. I'm going to be able to give a chance. Like, how long is how is it like season 4 where each episode is like an hour to 2 hours or something again?
Yeah, it's
So,
essentially going to be
hold
the
on,
same thing.
I'll look up.
Okay.
I'll look up the.
I remember one article saying that each episode was going to be 2 hours, and
that was
no,
false.
that was false.
So okay, so
that's good.
So this is what we have for part 1 at least. So part 1 is going to be for part 1, episode 1, an hour and 8 minutes. Episode 2, 54 minutes. Episode 3, an hour and 6 minutes, and episode 4, 1 hour and 23 minutes.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, then. So I mean, we'll see what happens. I want to be able to see this all the way through. I've already caught up to the first 4 seasons, so I have to at least be able to see how it ends. And honestly, the only thing I can do, and the only thing any of us could really do, is just hope for the best. Try to at least be hopeful with it, even though we kind of had our doubts based on these last 2 seasons. But we'll see what happens. So, like I said, I just want them to at least be able to build up to something, and they have to be able to make sacrifices, and take risk. I think so. There you go, John. John.
So with I don't have any. I have pretty much none. Like, the disappointment and the anger I had towards season 4, and as well as the residuals from season 3, I'm just kind of done with this show. I'll watch it because it's the final season, but that's literally it. It's because I feel like I have to, not because I want to. And I'm glad that it's being cut into 3 pieces, because, like, I don't know if I could okay, I don't know if I could fucking binge this for an entire fucking like it would feel like just, oh god, it would just feel like a fucking like chore. And I think I'm like, okay, I could do 4 episodes. Cool. Great. At a time. And just like I'm doing this because I feel like I have to, not because I want to. And when you're at a show and you're reaching that point, that's not good. Definitely not good.
All right, so I guess. All right, as someone who likes season 4, even though I just trashed it mostly, but you are allowed to criticize the things that you like. I have a lot of expectations for season 5 because of what has been told to me and what I have seen. We get to see that Mike is finally going to step in and step up again and be the leader. We get to see that Dustin potentially is going to have a huge arc this season. We get to see that Will is going to be the main character of this new season. We get to see that the characters are going to be together for this season. No more of them splitting up. I'm sorry, but that was something else I kind of got tired of. The characters getting split up all the time. Can we have them together? What is there left to do? It's happening in Hawkins. Let them stay in Hawkins. There are a lot of. I'm sorry, and I've been saying this for a while, since the last season. But we need to have stakes. I'm sorry. I don't care if Jonathan is your favorite character. He probably should go because they don't know what to do with him. And we'll get to the best and worst characters in a bit. But some characters got to go. They have to go. And I know the Duffer Brothers said that they don't want to do that because they don't want to upset the fan base. But that is the problem as to why Stranger Things, as good as it is, it's not going to be taken seriously when it comes to all these other franchises where they were able to take risks. When it comes to a war, not everyone's going to make it out alive. Sometimes you have to understand and accept the fact that your favorite character is going to go and it's going to die. It's going to be hard. It's going to be heartbreaking. I'm sure a lot of people didn't want Tony Stark to die, but you know what? It ended up becoming one of the best moments of the MCU, and his sacrifice was a full culmination of his entire character. I'm sure people didn't like the fact that Darth Vader died, but hey, Darth Vader ended up having a great sacrifice and saved Luke and redeemed himself. Some characters' death ends up becoming a great culmination of their character. It's sad for them to go, but at least you remember them and they end on a high note.
Exactly.
So I'm being curious because I swear to God, if I do not see at least 3 or 4 people, it can be minor characters, but I will give them 1 minor character death. I will give them 1, maybe even 2, but 2 main characters need to go. They need to go. I already think that 11's gonna die because I just feel like that's kind of where they're leaning towards. But yeah, like some characters have to go. They need to, because it's kind of hard for me to really believe. Like, for God's sake, you had 2 teenagers, a 13-year-old and a middle schooler, being able to break in and out of a Russian laboratory twice. That's how goofy it is. Like, come on, man. We need to have some stakes. We need to have seriousness. Like, this needs to be a season where you need to hit it off and end it on a high note. I can forgive everything that Stranger Things has done, even though the things that I don't like, I can forgive it all if they do the final season justice and they are able to actually take risks. Yeah, you know what? The finale could be great, but you need to take some risks. Because no more of this, we want to keep everyone alive and everyone gets a happy ending. No. Please kill people off I'm telling you, because if you don't do it, even though people, the majority of people are going to eat this up like candy, you're going to have people who are going to not like want to, watch more of your stuff. Even though the Duffer Brothers are great writers, they're not going to really want to take any,
also,
the writers and creators, they need to grow a pair.
Exactly.
They need to grow a
also,
pair.
something funny, I just remembered it right now, but Sean Levy was doing an interview, and he was one of the directors and one of the executive producers for the show. He was also saying, like, yeah, when we were like rewatching for the last season, just to like remember, get caught up on everything, he's like, here's something that nobody mentions. Winona Ryder, Joy, had a dog. There was a dog in season 1 that disappeared.
Oh yeah, how do I? Yeah. You're right, because I have been watching season 1, so yeah, like they do have a dog.
She has a dog, and then the dog disappears. Does it die? Does it run away? Did they forget about it? They forgot about it. So there's just this dog that like just
maybe he ran away.
I'm gonna say he ran into the underside, Yeah. Why not? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I think I'm probably out of everybody. I think I might have the highest expectations because I think I've been holding on to this show as much as I can, as far as it being a good show in my eyes. There was a time where it was my favorite show, like, of all time, but as I've grown older, I've seen other things, and I've even though I still like Stranger Things, I am kind of like at a point where it's like, okay, I like it, but it's not hitting the same anymore because they're not really one because it's taken 10 years to end a 5-season arc, which I can excuse COVID and I can kind of excuse the writer's strike, but it's just annoying that. And that's another problem. How as much as Stranger Things has been a great thing for TV, no, it was great for Netflix, but it also was bad for TV because of Stranger Things. We now have to wait 2 to 3 years in between seasons for high quality shows like House of the Dragon or Severance or The Last of Us. All these high budget shows, we have to wait like 2 to 3 years.
The biggest problem is because I don't really blame that on Stranger Things or Netflix. I blame that on the idea of kids becoming popular actors and people wanting to use them in movies. That is essentially what it is. They wanted to use them in movies because they were popular. And that's the thing. That's the problem with these big budget shows nowadays because they use movie actors. For the longest time, you had movie actors and you had TV actors. If you ever had a movie actor on a TV show, it was like a cameo or they were a guest star or something like that. The reason that there was kind of designated TV actors and designated movie actors is so you didn't run into this problem. TV actors were essentially just working actors. They were the people that were not the big A-listers that you like could be around for like shoots of like a month and then like going on to another movie. They were working like consistently for like 6 months out of the year for a show and then keep doing that show or go to another show or go to another show. That was the brilliance behind having designated TV actors. Not saying movie actors couldn't transition to television or vice versa, but that was just kind of that was the thing for the longest time. Now you have Jenna Ortega, Pedro Pascal. You have these big name actors that are mainly in movies doing TV shows like Wednesday and Last of Us. And the thing is, they go off and do movies. They do maybe 1, 2, 3 movies. Those are big shoots that take a long time that delay the TV shows from getting another season. That's the big problem. And because of that, we're stuck with these shows where it's like Slow Horses and Only Murders in the Building are godsends because they have a habitual schedule of like either back-to-back seasons like with Slow Horses. They shoot like 2 seasons at a time, so it actually has a consistent schedule despite having a big name like Gary Oldman be a part of it. Or you have Only Murders in the Building, which is like a fairly cheap show despite all these big actors because they're mostly older actors. Like you have Steve Martin and Martin Short. They're not really in a lot of big movies. You have Selena Gomez, sure, but she's more of a singer than an actress. But even then, she's consistently on that show, and she's on other shows like The Wizards of Waverly Place continuation. So that's the big problem. Side rant for like the state of TV and movies, but that's the reason why we have like, okay, the reason why, like not this past season, but like that's why the other seasons were delayed was because of COVID. That's why it was for like 2020, 2021, 2022, things were delayed because of COVID. So you can't blame them too hard. But now the reason that it like we're kind of sort of getting back to normal is because they're using big name. Not now, is that the case for every single one? No, there is like what you said, like high budget, and they need to get the budget for that. They need to do this, they need to do that, and they need to get preparation and all this other shit. But it's for the most part, I think it's down to the actors, and that's kind of the main reason why TV and movies are kind of in a weird state right now in terms of scheduling. So side rant, but that's that whole mess.
Yeah, and I mean, on top of that, Netflix, stop doing this part 1, part 2, part 3 thing. You're only just making it worse. Like you're milking it for money, and
for
that's
Netflix
annoying.
And others, they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to have the binge-worthy thing that a lot of people like, but they also want it to have weekly, so it stretches out for as long as possible. So it's like, how do we do that? Well, you can binge not the entire season, but you can binge 4 episodes. How about that? So you get to binge stuff, and then like a couple months later, then you can binge another 4 episodes. There you go. And then you can binge another 4, and then that's how the season goes along.
It seems like Netflix is like one of the few streaming service who used to pretty much release all their episodes in a season all at once, while other streaming services like whether it's Disney Plus or HBO Max or whatever, where they'll release a new episode weekly kind of thing, kind of like with the new It Welcome to Derry miniseries or the It Welcome to Derry show. Because that's being released like every Sunday night.
I mean, as somebody who now is older, I really don't like. I mean, I'm kind of done with the waiting week by week thing. It works for certain things, and it doesn't work for others.
I mean,
like,
I guess I don't mind it too much because I feel like if you start binging it all at once, that's it, and then like you'll pretty much forget it, and then when the next season comes out, you'll forget what happened in the previous season because you binged it all in one day, kind of thing. So I think it kind of
the same thing where if you watch it weekly,
but then again, that's just me.
I feel like if you watch it weekly, it's still going to be the same because, like, I mean, for example, with The Last of Us season 2, I mean, yeah. Well, actually, never mind. That's not really the greatest example because I mean it's based off of a video game. So, but
a video game that I heard was not very good.
So, but I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't like. It's kind of, and plus, like, you kind of lose its value when you do wait in between. It's the same thing with Cobra Kai season 6. Like, I think everyone can collectively agree, even the people who are not here, we all said the same thing, that them doing the part 1, part 2, part 3 thing, it kind of killed the momentum of the show. And even though everybody ended up enjoying part 3 and the finale and everything, you guys didn't really like part 1 and part 2, and you didn't like how you had to wait like months in between. So, but I mean. But anyways, because I mean, we kind of went on a side tangent, but I mean, do you guys want to talk about your best and worst characters, or do we?
I mean, we've kind of already done
that.
So I feel like there's practically no point at this point.
Yeah,
and plus, we're over the 2 hour. We're over 2 hours in this stream.
Yeah, we are. I mean, listen, Stranger Things has been pretty. I wouldn't say a part of my. I can't say childhood. It's more so a part of my my teenage years. Like, I was 12. I was 12 when it came out. I'm 22. So it's kind of insane. I used to be a kid who was worried about, if I was going to be able to go outside and play with my friends and play video games, to now on the verge of getting a real job and paying mortgage and rent and, well, I can't say mortgage and rent because rent is different from mortgage, but you get the point.
Welcome to the club, man.
Yeah. So, even though we've all, I mean, I know John feels differently about Stranger Things than me and Rob, but for me at least, as much as I have my problems with the show, I will say overall, I appreciate what the show has, meant to someone who's into sci-fi like myself, and it introduced me to a bunch of actors who I highly respect and think are pretty good. I hope they all get, well, Sadie Sink, she's gonna be in the MCU now. Hopefully, all these actors, especially maybe Millie Bobby Brown, please give her something that has nothing to do with Netflix, because God knows she needs something that has nothing to do with Netflix.
Yeah, not like Enola Holmes 12.
Like, I don't think she's been in a theatrical film since Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, I think Godzilla versus Kong
wasn't she in the New Empire? No, she wasn't in the New Empire.
I don't think she wasn't. I don't remember her being in the New Empire.
No, she wasn't.
Is she going to be in? Is Billy? Is she going to be in anything coming up?
I have no idea. If she is,
I'm going to look it up.
Not tied to Netflix. Like, she's done so many Netflix movies, and they've all been bad outside of Enola Holmes.
She's going to be in a movie called Just Picture It.
Upcoming.
But it's going to be on Netflix.
Oh my god.
She was in a movie called Damsel. Oh,
yeah,
and she was
on
Netflix.
Electric State was the last one she did was Godzilla versus Kong. That was the last theatrical.
That was the last.
Does she have like a deal? Does she have a contract with Netflix? Because
I guess.
But the thing is, with Damsel and Enola Holmes and Just Picture It, whatever the fuck that's going to be about, she's also a producer. She's producing these movies, so that's probably where she gets the freedom. She's like, "Oh, I'm going to be a producer." So, like, also, it's just like maybe Netflix is just easier. I know she's a mom now, so like,
no, the Netflix movies are not really the greatest outside of maybe like one or two. I mean, I liked the movie. I liked sometimes Netflix will pretty much bring out a big surprise. K-pop Demon Hunters. I mean, but like I think that's a movie that probably would have done better in theaters. But I mean, Project Adam was pretty cool. I mean, it introduced me to Walker Scobell, who's a pretty good actor. I mean, he's Percy Jackson, and he definitely reminds me a lot of Ryan Reynolds. Like, I mean, they good casting choice, and I mean, I like the Ultraman movie, but that's pretty much it. Where they should
also Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Okay, again,
at least John will agree with
another movie that could have came out in theaters.
Yeah, Frankenstein.
Another movie.
Pretty much all of their good movies are like, yeah, this should have been in theaters, but Netflix.
In fact, fun fact: Sony, honestly, the only reason why K-pop Demon Hunters never got a theatrical release is because Sony never had any faith in the movie, and once it blew up, and it became the most watched thing on Netflix, Sony was pretty much kicking their ass over it.
Yeah, like I mean, there is a major difference with like Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein movie and freaking Red One. I know that didn't come out on Netflix, but that movie is clearly meant for streaming. Like, come on,
yeah.
I love how like Roadhouse. No, that's not good enough for theatrical. But like this Dwayne Johnson garbage fucking Christmas bargain bin crap. Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
Yeah,
I didn't even hate Red One, but it was just so painfully mid that I'm like, all right, sure.
And I felt bad for Chris Evans too. Like, can you get better movies? Like,
I think it's the MCU curse at this point.
It shouldn't be.
I mean, when is
it? Can't be because look at Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, but she had a career way before the MCU. That's the thing.
So did Chris Evans. So did Chris Evans. So did Robert Downey Jr. So did Chris Hemsworth. No, he was a pretty new up and coming actor. So I can excuse that one. But even then, he was able to find success too outside of the MCU with Furiosa. So, I mean, I just think his agent is really, because everyone was excited to see what he was going to do after Captain America with his role in Knives Out. Like, he was the best part of that film.
Chris Evans went from being Captain America to being in Honey Don't. Fuck that movie.
I'm a farmer.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to watch The Materialist because I want to see why.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't like The Materialist. I thought it was so boring. But that's just me.
I mean, you have. I mean, when it comes to that,
I think we're losing the plot, gentlemen. This is still about Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, okay. All right. So if no one has anything,
we might as well go and wrap it up.
Yeah. If nobody has anything left to say, we're pretty much over, like way above the runtime. As usual, it's nice. It was nice hosting once again. I mean, it's Jesus. God knows how long it's been since. Yeah, but what's our next episode?
So the next review is going to be this coming up Saturday. We are going to review Wicked for Good, and that's going to be hosted by Mark. And then might as well go and announce the one after that. The one after that is going to be a week from that review. And that's going to be Zootopia 2, hosted by our favorite cool kid furry, Zach.
Yay! So you have a sequel for theater kids, and you have a Disney movie.
A sequel for furries.
Yeah.
And scalies, too, because now they're bringing reptiles into it.
Zach, we still love you. I was just making that furry joke just because.
No, he's a furry. Furry confirmed.
Listen, if that's
furry brony confirmed.
If that... I don't judge. I listen and I don't judge. But as usual, it's been your world's biggest geek, joined with the Geek Informant and the right dude. And we will see you guys on the next one.